Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jake Rabin from EA/DICE, and I'm here to present to you today Battlefield 5. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you've asked for it for years to go back to our roots and bring some World War II combat into the modern generation, and I have to tell you, we are very excited about Battlefield 5. Yes, we are bringing an old game, an old concept to current standards. We're going to show you guys how graphically impressive and amazing World War II can sound and look on modern machines.
Oh God! Oh Jesus! What is? I'm halfway in the world, medics. No! Oh God! Shot a rocket at me. What the fuck was that? Oh my.
Yeah, real quick, but just imagine if that clip that you got in MP3. This right here, this clip, shows perfectly how I feel about this game and what you will see. Sure, that bell hanging there was erroneous. That tower has been destroyed the entire match, and yet it's still hanging up there. I looked at it and I was like, what is this? And right as I thought that bomber getting shot down by one of my team's fighter planes flew over me in glorious fashion with incredible sound and incredible visuals. This game looks and sounds fucking awesome. But there's a lot of bugs to be had here. A lot of weird things going on behind the scenes that are going to make your experience a little bit less fun. First things first, we got to talk about whether or not this game actually works. And if you spend $60 or $80 like me because you couldn't navigate the stupid ass EA Origin access passes and different types of games that you can buy and got sick of it and just said, fuck it, give me the $80 version because that's the only one you're showing me, then you probably want the game to work. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. This is a perfectly timed clip here. As this tank is reversing, I'm definitely hitting that guy. At least one of those shots. Not a single one connects. The hit registration for some guns is like a little bit off. Other guns it's spot on and it doesn't matter. You feel like you're hitting your shots when you're hitting your shots. But for some of the weapons, it feels like the crosshair isn't exactly where your bullets are going. But as far as other technical issues, sure, there's some bugs like you saw earlier, but that was just me having a good time with the editing, and they don't really ruin the experience, to be honest with you. I mean, I was already dead in that one clip. Sure, the machine gun turrets on top of the trucks you couldn't use. They've already patched that, so now it works. But it didn't really matter because if you were on the top turret, you were definitely getting shot out of that bitch, and you were basically dead from the moment you got in the vehicle. So, to sum up the technical aspects of the game, looks and sounds are perfect. Sometimes the looks are almost too much. There's constant debris flying through the air, as you would see on a battlefield. Or on the snow maps, there's snowstorms. You cannot see 5 feet in front of your character. So technically the game is incredible from visual and audio standpoint. As far as like bugs and glitches and they happen, but they don't really ruin your game experience. Sure, if you fall through the map, you might get upset, but I haven't witnessed any game-breaking, crashing out bugs that cause me to not be able to play for, you know, an hour on end, which in today's market for video games, especially from AAA producers, is running rampant, and it needs to fucking stop. Luckily, it does not happen in this game. From a technical standpoint, sure, there's some bugs and glitches, but if you just ignore those and keep playing the game, it's not bad. I enjoy it. I can play this multiplayer without the bugs impeding my abilities too much. So next thing, chronologically in my mind, when I'm playing a game is, if it works, great. I'm gonna play it, but how much is there for me to do? Is it just one map, one game mode? I'm gonna get tired after a little while. So obviously we gotta talk about how much is in the game. What can you do? I don't understand why practice mode was like so hard for them. Like, oh guys, we gotta delay the release. We cannot put out practice mode. It's not ready yet. We haven't been able to figure out how to give you an empty map with like some targets and have you get unlimited guns and ammo. We can't figure that the fuck out. So the game is delayed, and then the EA exec was like, yeah, bullshit. We're not delaying it for goddamn practice mode. No one's gonna use it. Release the game and just give it to them like a week or two after launch, which is basically what they did. They released the game. You couldn't play practice mode. Tides of War wasn't with it. The Battle Royale mode isn't even in the game yet. It's not even shown anywhere in the menus. That's supposed to be coming next year at some point. I'm sure it'll be delayed once or twice. I doubt it'll be moved up at all. And then there's the single-player campaign, 25% of that, or whatever the equation works out to. One of them was not available at launch. You could not play it. It came out with their first patch, but still, I've already purchased the game, and when I go into the menu and half of the shit is grayed out saying coming soon, that's bullshit. I bought the game. Like, how can you give me half of the game now and half of the game later? It's not exactly half, but you know what I mean. It's a bad business practice to give me something for full price when I can't use the full product yet. It's maybe EA should have had me pay $30, and then when the rest of the stuff came out, charge me another $30. No, they would never do that. They don't want to take those pay cuts because they're hurting so bad from what was that game called? Oh yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. So you may be watching some of these gameplay clips, and you might be thinking to yourself, wow, I can't wait to storm the beaches of Normandy or defend against the invading German army as a Russian at the city of Stalingrad. I can't wait to fight Japanese troops at the Battle of Midway in Iwo Jima. Well, none of that is in the game. You don't get to play as the Americans, Russians, Japanese, Italians if you really want to play as them. I don't understand why you would. You don't even get to play as any other allies. It's just a generic, basically British troop versus Germans, and they don't even seem like Nazis. I mean, sure, they speak German and they have the Iron Cross, but I think removing the swastika from this game is just a design flaw. It's a bad choice in my opinion. And the lack of these armies and militaries and symbols being in the game, people don't know anything about World War II apparently. I had one person ask in chat, why can't I play as a black man on the Nazi German army? I don't know how to break it to you, but they weren't exactly fans, if you know what I mean. And second of all, I got asked from a person playing as the Allies, why can't I drive any American tanks? Because you're not playing as the Americans, you fucking dunce. Did the Americans wear any of the gear that your character is wearing now? No, not really. You can't even really use American guns besides the M1 and like the Thompson. But there is no Springfield to my knowledge, I don't think. There's no BAR. There's no like Trent shotguns. You can't drive a Sherman tank. The Americans aren't in the game. So the fact that you're asking me why can't I play as an American tank just makes me realize how little you know about World War II, like at all. So with us not reviewing technical standpoint and us not reviewing content, what's left? Is the game fun? Can you play it for hours on end? Well, I think so because I've done it. Battlefield 5 is fun, don't get me wrong, and I don't even play the stories really. I play multiplayer almost exclusively. It's Battlefield just has a different kind of feel to it, and in this version of Battlefield, I think they get the combat right. It's exciting, it looks good, it sounds good. There's moments in the game that make you feel like you're in the movie Fury, like this clip right here when I'm following my tanks in as they're pushing and shelling out a city. If I had more infantry with me, it would have felt exactly like the film, but I just didn't have anybody else with me. Not a big deal. I usually don't. There's some upgrades to the game as far as like gameplay goes. Squads have been cut down once again. You can only have 4 members in a squad, which why limit the number of players in a squad? I think 5 was low enough.
Right.
I miss the old days of having 6 long ago in the ether. They also add in the self-healing. Everybody gets 1 like med pack will heal them unless they get interrupted by taking damage. And limited ammo, which makes you really rely on your teammates more and more as you play. However, your teammates aren't always there for you. There's been times where I'm dying on the ground and there's a squad mate standing literally 3 feet from me, but he will not revive me, which is bananas because it's 200 free XP. They just never understand that squad mates can revive each other. And medics can revive everybody at a faster rate. And support as well. The new attrition system, you spawn in with 1 mag in the gun, and I think 2 extra mags in your pack. And until you either go to an ammo station or find a support player who's willing to give you ammo, you better have some pistol skills and some Jesus on your side, because your AR is going to be out of ammo. I almost guarantee it. You're going to see a lot of times you're running low on ammo unless you are shit at the game and die a lot. What else do they move forward in the game? Not really a whole lot. Vehicles feel pretty much the same. Turrets might turn slower than in the previous Battlefields, which kind of makes sense if you don't compare it to Battlefield 1. But Battlefield 4, obviously the turrets move pretty quick because they're new tanks. This is 1940s. They are not really quick on the turning capabilities of the armor. But regardless of that, other than those couple of things I mentioned, the gameplay is pretty much similar. You get suppressed, you can suppress enemies. Not really a whole lot of new gameplay going on here, but the mechanics that they do add in really change the feel of the game. And honestly, I like the attrition system, and I like the health pack system, and that you have to find and seek out whether it's allies or the stations that you can build. And oh my god, I almost forgot it. Building in this game is huge. Every point on the map has a place for you to build some shit. Whether it's embankments, it's sandbag lines, refill stations, vehicle stations for your vehicles to repair and refill their ammo, because vehicles now also have a limited ammo. You can't get in a tank and sit in the back of spawn and shell targets for 500 meters until the game is over. You actually have to go find and seek out ammo amongst the repair stations that your team does or does not build, depending on who's on your team.
This guy's getting knifed.
So this video is actually starting to get pretty long. I'm going to cut myself short here. It's just that this game is so important because it's good, but there's also not very good business practices going on behind it. I mean, the game is fun to play. It looks, sounds amazing. The guns feel incredible, minus a couple, of course, as I've mentioned before. But it's satisfying to get kills on the enemy. Sometimes you die and you feel like it's bullshit, but the game is fun at the end of the day, and there's a lot of fun to be had, even if you're not playing in a squad. I would recommend you do. It's more fun if you play in a squad, but sometimes the randoms who have mics, because apparently 2018 no one can buy a headset with a microphone and know how to push a push-to-talk key. There's still some good fun to be had if you do find those teammates, or even if you don't. Sometimes it's just fun to turn your brain off, put on some tunes, and just run and gun as the medic class, because that's how they play. But do I recommend this game? It's not a review. I'm not going to give it a rating, but I've already gotten my money's worth out of this title. And you know, if more of my friends had ponied up the $60 to play the game, I'm sure we would have had a lot of fun, but most of them were skeptical. They stayed away after all the controversy that happened at the beginning with the social justice warriors and the cosmetics in the game that weren't accurate to World War II. It was kind of a World War II shooter, but not really, because they just added in random shit that didn't make any fucking sense to anybody, like katanas and women with bionic arms fighting in the British military. They rolled back a little bit on the cosmetics, but you can still see as there's women fighting on the front lines, which I don't give a fuck about. I don't care what character I'm playing. I'm going in there to dominate, and I'm probably gonna die on the site. So, but that's my opinion. I don't think I missed anything too huge about this game. If I did, let me know down below in the comments. I love this game. I'm going to continue playing it. I got some more Battlefield 5 content I'm planning on doing whenever I get around to it, just like this video. It's been quite a while, but that is going to do it for this one, guys. I appreciate you taking the time. This is a long video, so I appreciate you making it to the end. Take care. We'll see you guys soon, hopefully with a Fallout 76 video I've been working on a little bit here and there, so we'll see you later. Oh, one last thing I forgot to mention. The bombers in this game are fucking bullshit. The balancing isn't really a problem, except for in regards to the planes. They are fucking stupid. The AA cannons are almost completely useless against bombers and fighters because they can fly at you in a direct pattern, take all of the flak you put out, and still take all of those hits and then kill you in one shot. It is fucking ridiculous. And this last clip here is of me getting fucked on spawn by a bomber after looking at a knife I can't afford or don't have the level to unlock. But yeah, we spawn in and immediately are getting bombing run by the enemy. Fucking bullshit. Maybe buy this game. I don't know if you like it or not.